You're listening to What's Good Sacramento, where we not only talk about real estate and home loans, but what's going on in the greater Sacramento area. What's new, what's hot, what is going on. You're here with Mac, the mortgage man, and Lisa, your local Sacramento realtor. Let's jump on into today's show. It is a good day to have a good day. Welcome to What's Good Sacramento. Lisa, how you doing today?
Good morning, Mac. I'm doing great. I was thinking about what's hot, what's coming up here in Sacramento County this month. And I thought about, boom, the California State Fair. Have you been there before?
I have. It's been years. Funny enough, I used to live. I think they're called. No, I don't remember the name. But there's a really nice apartment complex that's between the mall, the Arden Mall, and Expo, and I used to live there. And so I used to go to the fair a couple times because I lived there. And then I think the state fair is like something you need to go to if you live in Sacramento. But now that I'm a little bit older and I've been, the very hot weather, the very fried food doesn't really agree with me as much, so I haven't been in a while.
Okay, but you know what's interesting is I haven't been in like years on
Mm,
years, but I was looking it up just to kind of be out of curiosity, like what's going on over there. And
mhm.
they have a lot of really cool artists. I don't know if you know these artists, but just to name a few, Boys to Men, Genuine, Ashanti, Third Eye Blind, and the Isley Brothers. I was like, okay, okay, Sacramento State Fair. I see you. Do you know any of these artists?
I know all of them actually, now some better than others. I'm more of a kind of I grew up like a rock kid, and rock and hip hop, Bay Area rap really, and so, Third Eye Blind would probably be the one I know the most. I mean, everybody knows Boys to Men, I think, and,
Right.
I think the Isley Brothers, I don't really know, but I swear that they're there, like, every year. I just their name, like, I just feel like, "Oh, they're there every year." Like, that's, like, the people that, like, always go and see them. It's like I said, it's been a long time since I've been there. The last time I went, my niece was, like, 2 or 3. She's, like, so it must've been, like, 4 or 5 years ago, and I only went because my brother and niece were up. My wife and I and them went to a Republic game, and after the Republic game, you could walk directly into the fair for free. It was like part of the
Wow.
promo for that night. That's the last time I went
Nice.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. I don't know. When you think about all the things that we have out here, we're pretty privileged to have just opportunities to like experience like these live concerts, things like that, and really minimal fees. I mean, we're not promoters for all this stuff, but I'm just saying, like,
We could
we
be
could-
though, all
I
right?
know,
Send
right?
us
We
an
could just throw
email,
this out there.
we'll promote your fairs.
Right. But you know what? Thinking about July and just how everything's going, it started off with a really big bang for me thus far. I can tell you, the weekend of this 4th of July, we spent in
Mm,
Monterey, and I was so happy, let me
cool.
tell you, because you were
Mhm,
talking about weather and the heat and the food. We were in like probably on average like 69, 70 degrees. And when it
mm,
cooled down in the evenings, that nice coastal breeze.
yeah.
Think about this, when everybody was frying over here, what did it get up to, like, over 110 or
I
something
don't
over here?
remember exactly what it was on that day, but it got up to 109 and 107 in the
That's
last
crazy.
week.
I was wearing
Yeah.
sweats, cozied up with a fireplace,
Uh,
watching Netflix. I'm
mm,
serious because it was so cold. We are supposed to do, like, beach bike riding, all these activities. We're like, "You know what? We'll just stay in this little suite and, like, cozy up, listen to some good music, watch movies." I got caught up in a lot of Netflix that I haven't
mm.
seen in a while. One in particular was, The Mirror. Have you seen that?
Black Mirror, you mean?
Black Mirror,
Yeah,
yes, Black
Black Mirror. That again is another show I haven't seen in a long time. The last episode I watched I watched it because at the time I owned the gym and we were a renewable energy gym, the first in the country. And they had an episode where you exercise and you create energy and
Yeah.
that's how you get money. That's how you like earn money. And so it was very relevant in my life, so that's why I watched it.
That's funny. But you
Mm,
know what? I don't know. For me, I'm not like a huge movie person or like TV
mm,
go to, but I'm telling you, I got hooked on a couple of the series and shows while
mhm,
we're just chilling. But speaking of that, I was reading up on an article and it was saying that the US Federal Communications is making moves and flexing on these major cable companies and whatnot and making them actually expose their full pricing on programming services fees. And I
mm,
thought, okay, how is this relevant? We sign up for stuff. There was one episode on there where she got caught up, where it's like recording her real life.
mm,
And there was in the fine print, right? It was like a disclosure. We always click on this stuff every time we sign up for
yeah,
anything, right? You never read the 10 pages of disclosures, right? But I thought in real life, we also do this all the time with like fees, miscellaneous fees, and things that
mm,
we just say, okay, to it's a promo fee. And all of a sudden you get charged on your Apple account or whatever. And you're like, where'd this $15 come from? But
right,
thinking about this, how they're the communications they're looking to really crack down on that and make sure that us as the consumers know what we're actually paying for, right?
right.
So it made me think of on the flip side in our line of work. Mac, tell us a little bit about here at Orbit, like how do we provide for our customers or clients, if you will, and disclose things like that.
Well, when we're looking at, we're talking about purchasing a home, we're talking about what would come with like a down payment, what we would talk about like loan origination fees, what we would do for there's other fees associated with the loan, but we'll speak today on our end, right? What happens at Orbit? What's the Orbit model look like as far as it pertains to loan origination fees, like our cost and things like that. Now, here's the thing before I jump into what we do, let me tell you what sort of I've seen in the industry. Um, and it can be very tricky. And this happens a lot actually with realtors where not for their fees, but like when they're looking for a brokerage. And in that brokerage, they're trying to figure out what their split is going to be, right? What's it going to
Right.
cost them to work at this brokerage? And there's a lot of really clever wording that happens in the industry to try to, I don't want to say like trick people, but I will say that, it's clever. I'll just leave it at that. It's clever wording.
Right.
So that's very similar when it comes to loan origination, or when it comes to fees to a broker. You'll see people who will say like, "Oh, we have a processing fee, we have an application fee, we have, whatever it is." And so that in itself, I can't speak to what everybody's doing, but I will say that um, it sometimes surprises me, what we see come across our desk because we will ask people that even if they are going to work with somebody else, like send us over the paperwork, like let us double check it for you. And if it doesn't look right, then we'll let you know. And if it does, then great, great. I'm glad we could help you out in some way. And so at our brokerage, we have no cost, we have no fees. We have no operation fees, we have no application fees, we have no Mac woke up in the morning and needs to brush his teeth fees, right? Like there's nothing, there's no fees, right? Now that doesn't mean that we don't make money. We make our money off of the lender. So that means that you do your loan, we are able to shop through all the major lenders through the entire country, find you the best rate, get you into a program that makes sense, and then your loan going to them, that company will pay us. Now, here's the thing that's very interesting. Because of 2008 and all the law changes and everything like that, at the beginning of our year for loans, we have to set the pricing. So we have to say we're going to do 2%, 3%, whatever it may be, right? And we can't change that. So I can't change because Lisa wants to do a loan with me. I can't say, "Oh, I'll do it for 1%." It's illegal for me to do that, which means, and the same thing for working with all different lenders. It's the same across the board, right? At least, the way that we have our structure set up. And some programs, like especially like if you're working with the state, is a little bit different, but like traditional lending, it's not going to change, which means we don't have the fees, which means we don't have that, and none of that changes. We do the same across everybody. There's no benefit to us to put you in a different program or to put you with a different lending company, right? So that's not the same with every company. I don't know if it makes us unique in that sense, but I do know that's how we operate, right? We don't add anything extra on because we believe in doing what's best for our client. And we believe that part of their job is doing the paperwork. So there's no reason to charge you an additional processing fee to do the paperwork. So that's what we're doing. But I know that was a little long winded, and we it's a good explanation. But why don't we jump off of that, and why don't we talk about what is going on in the real estate market?
Yes, yes. So, we're going to focus on the area of Folsom. What a beautiful area. I think when I personally first moved out here, I didn't even know Folsom existed, to be honest. And when I realized out on the outskirts of Sacramento, there's nice rolling hills and the rivers. And I was just like, wow, it's beautiful. So, centering in on that, we're going to talk about, what is going on with the pricing, right? The average
Mm.
median price, last year, year to date, was significantly higher. Average was 884,000, right? Today, the average year to date median sold price is 792. So what is that in percentages? 10.4% decline in the sold pricing. So, there once again, on average, that window of opportunity that you're looking for to get into an area that you like or desire, it's here now, right? So we're looking for affordable communities. Something we're fortunate about having is a communal with reasonable cost of living, right?
Mm.
Like I mentioned, mountains, scenery, if you like that, hiking, biking, whatnot, there's just a lot to offer. So tell us, Mac, in lieu of that, what's going on with the interest rates?
All right, let's go ahead and jump into the interest rates. Let's take a look, see what's going on. And man, things have been a little bit wild over the last week. I even sent you a text and being like, "Hey, things have shifted a little bit. And things have gone up." So we're gonna kind of jump up over. I mean, we'll take a look here, but rates are fluctuating. I'm not entirely sure, what's going on. Because I've been busy this week working on the production of this thing, and we've had a little bit of a break. It's summer, and we had a little week break there, especially with the holiday. So rates jumped up over 7%. Yes, I think yesterday or the day before I sent you, they
Mm.
were sitting at 7.2%,
Yeah.
7.22. Um, and so we're seeing a little bit of a fluctuation here. I mean, we're going up, we're going down, but not very much. We're still staying around the 6.9. So this is a little bit maybe an indicator that rates might start to jump up at some point. We did talk about the Feds having two 25 basis point increases that they could use at some point. Maybe that they're going to start building these into the program. Typically the way it works is if there's an inkling that the Feds are going to raise the rates, we don't, the lenders, and build it into their program early so it doesn't feel like a shock when it happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's essentially, we're kind of sitting around the same area if you're trying to get into a home, and you're looking at this. Now, remember, part of working with a trusted realtor and loan officer is that we understand how to navigate this market. And so just because a rate is at 6.9% doesn't mean that that's the rate that you're going to get. You could have, your situation could allow you to get a slightly better credit score. We might be able to get you a seller credit. We might be able to help you do a buy down. There's a lot of scenarios there that can work in your favor. So definitely keep that in mind when looking at these rates. But we're not at 2.99 anymore, right? That's not where we're at. So you have to plan accordingly. You have to learn to adjust. And we have to find a way to win the market, right? There in California, there are billions and billions of dollars on the market right now. People are closing homes, people are selling homes, people are buying homes. It is out there, right? The market has slowed, but it hasn't stopped. So, I know that for some people it might seem like an impossibility, but it isn't, right? There, with the right people, with the right team, and the right preparation, we can definitely get you where you need to be. So keep an eye on the rates. You know, they've gotten a little bit better, but you know, they've gone up, they've gone down, but we're staying right around that 6.9 to 7%. So um, you know, that's what our rates are looking like now. So um, you know, I don't want to say it's not bad news. It's not, you know, great news. I'm hoping we get back down in the sixes at some point. But so let's go ahead and jump into the area information. This week we are talking about Folsom. Folsom is such a great area. I think ultimately that's where I'm going to end up because I just really like the area, I like the community. And maybe just a little bit further out to like where there's a little more land. But Folsom is a great area, obviously located in Sacramento County, neighboring Sacramento, again, about 20 minutes from downtown Sacramento. It's about 15, 16 miles. Population 181,000, a little bit over, given some change over there. And median rent is a little lower, actually, than some of the places we've seen. We had 1875. Now, I think personally, there's not as many rentals there. I think when people go out there, they buy. And if
They're like there forever.
yeah, and if they do rent, they're smaller places, right? They're like 1 bedroom, 1 bath or something like that. That's what I think. I haven't really looked into it, but um I think that would make a lot more sense. Uh but either way, why don't we jump in, and Lisa, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit of all what's going on in the Folsom community?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're definitely in summer. We're deep into it. You know, you think about fun in the sun, water. How do I get to water? And that's one thing that Folsom, I think, highlights it as a city is Folsom Lake.
Mm,
Granted, the water lines go up and down, but it's still, I remember like taking my kids there when they were little and just making it like a whole day,
mm,
barbecuing, getting close to the water line, buying these huge water floating devices
mm,
and having the little concession stand like pump them up for us and letting the
mm,
kids go out there all day. It was just like a lot of fun. You know, I haven't been there probably in the past, I don't know, several years,
yeah.
but so I don't know what it's like today, but I know that you know, when I've gone in the past, it was beautiful and it was just a lot of fun, you know. And then you think about the community as a whole, like what does it have to offer? I mean, I like to shop, so I like to find areas that have nice shopping centers. And Folsom again has a beautiful shopping center, the
Hmm.
Palladio, however we want to pronounce it. Um, I love it. I love it. And something that I discovered there when I was looking for activities for my little one to do was Sequest. Have you heard of that?
I haven't. What is that?
Okay, so it's kind of cool. It's right there in the Palladio Shopping Center, and it's got like water animals, like almost like an aquarium, but then also like wildlife, but all in
Okay.
house. So you can do like a petting zoo type deal, right? Or
Mm,
feed them and do inner encounters. They have like sloth. I'd never seen a real sloth until I
mm,
went there. And it's just crazy. It's so wild to just sit there and watch them and how slow the baby moves.
mhm, mhm.
But my little one was so stuck on that sloth. She's like, I want a pet sloth. I'm like, no, nephew, we
Uh,
can't get that. And porcupine. They had like a porcupine and they'll give you like a pin. So she got that as like a little souvenir. It's just like a
cool.
really cool experience. You know, if you have kids and you want activities, especially if you want to beat the heat,
Mm.
but if you don't mind being outside, they also feature the Folsom Zoo.
Mm.
And I've been there. Have you been there?
I haven't. I actually didn't even know there was a zoo out there. I just only know of the Sacramento Zoo.
Yeah.
And personally, I'm an Oakland Zoo kind of person. So when you've been to the Oakland Zoo and then you go to the zoo here, it's a little lackluster. But I know that we took my niece there, so for like first time experiences and just getting to see animals, it's very
Yeah.
cool.
You know what? I would say if you had your niece or other people that would want to come and just do a little adventure, I mean, it's worthy of going for
Mm,
sure. Like you, I also have been exposed to bigger zoos, the San Francisco Zoo. I remember when they used to have like the lion's den and lock you in
mm,
and feed the lions. That freaked me out. So no, Folsom Zoo doesn't have any things like that, but they do have like coyotes,
Right.
bears, a lot of other like I think habitat and wildlife
Yeah.
that's more local here,
Well, I
which is pretty
sometimes
cool.
have to remind myself that like the things that kids are amazed by is not the same thing now that an adult is amazed by. So like it doesn't have to be amazing for myself. For them. And again, this is maybe part of the reason I don't have kids, right? So I don't
No,
know,
no,
but
no, no. I could say I could piggyback what you're saying 100%. And let me tell you why.
mm,
Me and my significant other was trying to plan a day for the kids not too long ago. And we literally went back and forth on our ideas. And we
mm,
had lists. Here's my list. Here's your list. On his list were zoos, Sequest. I forgot what else. Anyway, mine were a lot of water stuff, right?
mm,
And just to piggyback what you're saying, though, I kept saying, but those zoos aren't fun.
mm,
They're not like the Oakland Zoo, which is funny you say that. I said the Oakland Zoo or San Francisco, and he's like, Lisa, they're kids. And I'm like, no. And then to prove me wrong, little one on a whole different conversation after we took them out for the day says, oh, mommy, we should go to the zoo sometime.
mm,
Remember the zoo that we went to here? I was like, she would do that.
yeah,
Didn't even know the conversation we had, the debate, I should say.
that was
So I thought that
funny.
was funny. Yeah. But no, I feel you on that. It is true though. Kids are amused by things way different than we are. But
Mm.
you know what? Talking about amusement, they also have something cool for the adults. So if you like the nightlife and you want to go hang out and have a good time, Powerhouse Pub. Have you heard of that? Been there, seen it, or what?
So interesting about Powerhouse. I've never been there, but I've been invited a couple times when I was in college
Mhm.
because Sac State is a commuter school. And so, I was involved with a lot of clubs there, and a lot of people lived in Folsom and then commuted to Sac State. And you typically hang out where you live, right? So I would get invited out there, but I would never go because I'd be like, you want me to go? Like this was before Uber and Lyft, right? And it's like you can't really get a
Right.
taxi out here. And I'm like, what do you want me to go out there and just like have a night at the bar? And then how am I supposed to get home? I'm like, I just never made sense to me. So I never went. But I
Right.
know that it's like a spot out there. I know people that live in Folsom that's like Powerhouse is the spot. That's where they go. That's where they have a good time. So, I don't know. Maybe I should go now, but I haven't been. But there's a couple times where I really wanted to.
Well, and then, like on their site, they feature like various bands, cover bands,
Mm,
DJs. So I think it has something a little bit to offer
hmm.
everybody. Especially if
Right.
you like bands that pay tribute to other bands, like rock or old
Right.
rock, things like that. So I think that's super cool. And it's got its own little energy going there and in the old part or the original part of Folsom, I should say.
Right.
So more historic site. I think that's cool. I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, Folsom's doing it out there. But now that we're talking about Folsom, let's talk about the new projects and existing projects that are coming up out there. So I was looking into communities, which we always like to feature what's new and happening in every community that we talk about. So I wanted to find something to kind of focus on that's a little different than what we usually present. And first and foremost, let's talk about this new affordable community for our older 55 and older population. I thought that is something I want to highlight because we have clients of all ages.
Hmm.
And when I was looking for a previous client, there was a little bit of more selective uh, availability as far as communities designated to 55 and over, right? So this one is featured the Sequoia Collection Regency at Folsom Ranch. And, their size of homes are all single story, ranging from 1,300, a little over 1,300 square feet to 1,400 square feet, give or take. Very nice, generous covered patios that they feature, private backyards, a huge community clubhouse. And I think that's great because when we think about the older population and we want to settle down and retire, we probably want to make our house a home and
Hmm.
then have like friends and things to do, but not have to venture out too far, right?
Right.
This community has over 18,000 square feet for their clubhouse. That's pretty huge.
Mm,
And what's interesting about some of the features there is they offer like food and beverage services, which I think is really cool. Because if you've ever known anything about these like assisted living facilities or, older communities, they do offer features where it literally feels like you're living in a resort and you're,
Mhm.
catered to. So granted, if you want to live on your own, you want your own property, you can still have this clubhouse community with these added amenities and a heated pool, fitness center, everything you need right there.
Right.
So one of their larger size properties that they're featuring is the Whitmore, 1446 square feet, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, 2 car garage. And they're ranging from 548,000, which is pretty reasonable,
Mhm.
that price range. So yeah, so I wanted to just highlight that. Now, on the other side, for our new homeowners, or you're looking to upgrade size home, or you want to just buy new and it's your first time purchasing, we do have Beezer homes, which are still affordable. It's the Oakwood at Folsom Ranch community. Their price ranges start at 649, 990. So we're still in that affordable range. 3 to 5 bedrooms, 2.5 to 3 baths, and 2 car garages. They do feature 3 floor plans, 2 story floor plans ranging from 1,800 square feet to a little shy of 2,500 square feet. They do have home offices downstairs. And I know like having a 2 story and having a bedroom downstairs, optional for bedroom or office, is such a nice perk to have, especially
Mhm.
when you're thinking about family and when you have friends or guests. You have privacy of your
Right.
rooms upstairs. And then if you want something like an office or a guest room, you've got
Right.
that option, right? So they do offer in that community bike routes, trails, walking. They are in a location that's like a really highly rated school district too. So I won't delve into too deep about the ratings of the school district, but definitely like if you are looking to purchase as your realtor, I would definitely talk about the local areas, not just the house itself and all of its wonderful features and price range, but discuss with you more important aspects like the schools and what their ratings are and other things that might be important to you and your family. So if you're looking to purchase something new, used, or just want to get your feelers out there for, hey, Lisa, what's going on in the market? Reach out, you know who to call. So, Mac, what else do we have to look forward to?
Well, we always have something to look forward to, right? Don't we? That's how life is. You just got to keep a positive mindset and just truck forward. But for those who are listening, for those who are interested, it is never too early to start the process to get yourself into a home. I know that it's fun to sit at your house and count your Monopoly money and play pretend, but it's time to step up and make real decisions and talk to professionals who can actually put you on a roadmap to owning a home. That's what we do. So, what I would recommend is reach out to us so we can help you do a community analysis. We can help you do a credit report analysis, and we can get you set up on a road. Now, maybe that's 5 years out for you, 3 years out, 2 years out. That's really irrelevant to us. For us, it's really about taking a look at where you're at. What do we need to do to get you where you need to be? Trying to kind of predict where the market's going to go, and getting you set up. And you have a team here that's willing to help you. So make those moves. Let us know, and that's why we're here. So thank you guys for being on today. Lisa, why don't you lead us out today?
You guys have a great week. I hope you had a great 4th of July weekend, and we'll see you soon next week. Take
All right,
care.
you guys have a good one. Bye.